Yo, what's shaking AC?
Good thing your voice is warmed up because we're back for part two of grand openings.
Yes, part two of grand openings.
Yeah, because we were talking about it and we were running out of time, and we thought, we should probably continue and talk a little bit more. So, the things we were going to talk about, we were going to a little bit maybe more about like local celebrities and how to integrate them. I think you had mentioned. What else?
Yeah, well,
Territorial.
I mean, so you've obviously got this grand opening that you've got planned for the general public to come and experience your business, right? But when you're getting, for example, press, like the newspaper, the TV, the radio, all that sort of stuff, is it kind of good practice to have a pre-grand opening VIP event where you have it catered with some hors d'oeuvres and cocktails, and you ask these people to come in, and during that time they're able to interview you so that they can publish their press or their whatever news that they're putting out ahead of time to drive more traffic to the general public grand opening? Is that how you do it, or would you like just tell them to come to the grand opening?
I like that a lot. We didn't do that back in the day that when I was putting together grand openings, but Chris Ramo, we were just talking in our last rant about Happy Cat Hotel, and he did that. He had like the local veterinarians and I think other pet store people that were more kind of on the VIP list, and it was a catered event and fancy drinks and all that. So I think that's a fantastic idea, especially if it's the kind of business that's suitable for that. Yeah, in a minute we should talk about territories, because people that have like a mobile service business might be thinking, how does this apply to me? So we'll come to that in a minute. Yeah, so the local celebrities that we talked about.
Yeah, so where did they fall in? Like if you had, let's say, you've got mayors, city councilors, maybe you have some local influencers, YouTubers, TikTokers, maybe there's actual celebrities, like people off Shark Tank or Dragon's Den that live in your city or whatever it is. When do you bring them in? Do they come into the VIP event, or do they come in for the main grand opening?
I think whatever they're willing to do.
Okay.
But if you had a choice, if they're a celebrity, I'd probably want to leverage that at the main grand opening, and have them do pictures or videos or whatever, or you can do it for social media, of course. But being able to this, it could go either way. It could be either one, but being able to promote in advance that this local celebrity is going to be at your grand opening that day, or these various local celebrities, might bring out more people to the main event, as opposed to just telling them that this person thought it was a good idea, So, like we would have them, in our case, we would do a barbecue, which I don't think just because we were a food business, I think you can easily do like a barbecue, that smell and everything, it creates that attention. We would always have like the celebrities and the local, like the mayor, flipping burgers, and and then if the press came out, that always made a great picture for the media. So I think you can integrate them throughout. You could have fun with them and say, hey, do you want to work? You want to work in the business? We'll train you up and kind of have some fun with that and say, here's how you do it. Like one time Oprah worked at McDonald's. It's just like that.
Right. Okay. So I'm just reading some notes here from our last rant. Was so we talked about grand opening, we talked about VIP, we talked about celebrities. One more question before we move on to these territories is, you mentioned a soft launch, which is you just open up. How far in advance of your VIP grand opening type of thing do you do that? Is it brand dependent, depending on how long it takes to work out all the quirks and train your new staff, or is it something that you want to keep fairly tight to keep the allure fresh?
Oh, good question. Well, just my opinion here, but I would say if you need more time, that's fine. But for us, it was more efficient to get it down to 1 week of being open. And that gave us enough time to work out the kinks. And then we would send, for the actual grand opening day, more of our head office team would come to the grand opening. So it would help with preventing any challenges with, just whatever could go wrong. There's enough bodies to like help sort out problems. So, but certain business, you're right, like definitely certain brands, certain industry, there might be a reason why you would have a longer stretch of open. So okay. I think that just depends. But I like your point though about the allure, but yeah, and I don't ever think it's too late. Like if someone's opened 2 months ago, you could still do a grand opening. It's always an opportunity for PR. Or you
Yeah.
can do an anniversary celebration if you forgot to do, if you
Right.
just forgot to do a grand
Yeah.
opening, or say it was pandemic or something like that. You can always, like you said, with the last rant, we talked about the brick, and that could have been an anniversary celebration. It might have, who knows, but it stuck with you.
Yeah.
And
Dr. Pepper did.
Dr. Pepper. Yeah. Do we have that in Canada?
We do. Yeah.
We didn't have that. Anyway. Okay.
Okay. So now
let's
let's talk about these territory launches that you've been itching to chat about.
Okay, well, full transparency and confession that I've never done this, but I've always thought that a mobile service business, like a tutoring business or a carpet cleaning business, that why couldn't they do a launch of some sort where they would host a party, a quote unquote party? Maybe it's a tailgate party, or maybe it's like with a barbecue, just, rent out the equipment and buy some stuff at Costco or whatever it is. Or if it's a kid business, but it's a mobile business, have it at a park or something, like have something to kick off that this business is in town. Because like we talked about in the last rant, the marketing opportunity is huge for this. And it's your one chance to just really get people aware of what you're doing. So I think that it's a missed opportunity if you're launching a business without.
Absolutely. It's like, imagine if you were going to display at a trade show and have a trade show booth trying to sell franchises. What would you be doing? Would you be like, doing little tests with brain training cards? Would you be spilling wine on a carpet and trying to clean that up? Well, why don't you extrapolate that? You basically have your own sort of mini trade show booth inside of a party. Maybe you open up a tent in like a parking lot, food, music, band, whatever. Brand XYZ is launching. Come get your brain tested, or come see the world's longest carpet cleaning race. You just run long things of carpet down King Street in your downtown and just spill all sorts of stuff. And people just need to clean.
That's good. Hey, if anybody's listening to this and you're like, what could we do? I think you should hit Robert up, because he's the ideas guy for sure, from always creating a splash. Yeah, I think those are great points. And be sure to, whether it's a grand opening or a launch party or whatever, territory launch, to think about what you can give away free to have them come, like, so that they come back. Any kind of, giveaway is always a good idea, free samples of whatever sort. But also another thing to keep in mind is that there will be a cost. We haven't talked about that. And franchisees sometimes used to, get a little nervous because they just invested all this money in into their business. And they're like, now we have to spend more money. And it's like, this is your time. Like, ideally you'll make money today, but at the end of the day, if you just get huge, like, you do really well with revenue, but if you end up, little bit in the red or whatever, it's an investment in marketing is what it was.
Yeah. And I think that's the job of the Frandev team, is make sure that, like, during your sales component, you say you need to have this amount of money squirreled aside for the grand opening, so it's not a surprise. And then your marketing team helps design it and then put it out.
Yeah, it should be in the FDD anyway, like an amount of working capital needed, so that would be in the budget. But I think it's worth it. And me, I'm all about just organic types of marketing to create attention.
Yeah, totally. I like doing that.
Yeah, I mean, and then you can even combine businesses. Next thing you know, you're doing via virtual reality carpet cleaning.
Well, I mean, that's another important part of the grand opening, right? If you're a business like ours, where there's like lots of children's birthday parties, partnering with a local pizza place that helps provide that, and you can cross promote. But even if you are a mobile business that doesn't have a brick and mortar facility, having some sort of partnerships with other businesses to, make it roll, make it work better,
Speaking of rolling, I wonder if this got anybody's wheels turning.
Well, there was a bunch of really good ideas.
I really think we should be done now. Oh my gosh, people are going to just turn us off now. Well, that's good, because I think we're done anyway.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go
be awesome.